Today we're going to learn how to find the angle measures. Some of this should be a review for you, and then some of it will be, I think, a little bit new as we learn how to put geometry and algebra together. But before we do all that, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's do some vocabulary. The vocabulary should be review. First vocabulary word is acute angle. An acute angle is an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. And then just some notation so that you're aware. When we talk about measures of an angle, we write it like this. So that says the measure of an angle is 90 degrees. But in this case, we're talking about an acute angle, and it's less than 90. This right here that looks like a less than sign is also your angle sign. And then this stands for measure. A right angle is an angle that's measure is exactly 90 degrees, and here's a picture of a right angle. And we typically use the notation, it looks like a little square, and that means it's a right angle. So even if the drawing isn't to scale, like my drawing isn't very good, when I put that little square there, that tells you that it's a right angle, even if it doesn't look like it's one. And then I didn't draw a picture. You might want to go back to the top and make a picture of an acute angle. An acute angle looks like that. So its angle is less than 90. So see how this angle is smaller than this angle. An obtuse angle is an angle whose measure is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. And an obtuse angle might look like that. So see how this angle right here is bigger than our 90-degree angle that we just drew. Then we have a straight angle. A straight angle is an angle whose measure is exactly 180 degrees. And a straight angle looks exactly like that, like a straight line. And then when we're talking about an angle, we typically draw the little angle sign so that we know that it's a straight angle. Complementary angles are angles that add to 90 degrees. So when you add two angles together and they add up to 90, those are complementary angles. Supplementary angles are angles that add to 180 degrees. I have found in the past that people sometimes have a hard time keeping complementary and supplementary straight. And this works for me. It's kind of silly, but this works for me and it may work for you. The S in supplementary is like half of an 8. So when you complete it, it makes an 8. And then that just helps me remember that supplementary is 180. If that works for you, great. You can use that. If it doesn't work for you, then you need to kind of think of a way that to keep complementary adds to 90 and supplementary adds to 180 straight in your mind. Our first example are classifying angles, and it says classify the angle as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. You probably don't need me to do this. You can pause the video and do this yourself. Go ahead and label those, and I will do so as well. The first one is smaller than 90, so it's acute. The second one makes a straight line. It's a straight angle. And the last one is bigger than 90, so it's obtuse. Example 2 says complementary or supplementary. Tell where the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. So in example A, we have 13. We have an angle that's 13 degrees, and we have an angle that's 77 degrees. So if we were to get our calculators and add 13 plus 77, we would see that adds to 90 degrees. So these are complementary. I didn't use my calculator. Example B, 152 and 30 degrees adds to 182. So that's bigger than 180. So these are neither. They don't add to 90 and they don't add to 182, so it's not either complementary or supplementary. Example 3 says finding angle measures. For the given angle measure, find the measure of a supplementary angle and the measure of a complementary angle if possible. Alright, so I know that complementary angles add to 90 degrees, so I need to name an angle that is complementary with 32. So in order to do that, I'm going to work backwards, and I'm going to take 90 minus 32, and that comes out to be 58. So a complementary angle to 32 degrees would be 58 degrees. Then I'm going to do the same thing with supplementary. I'm going to take 180 minus 32, and that comes out to be 148 degrees. So an angle that is supplementary to 32 degrees is 148 degrees. Then I'm going to come over to the next one, and I have a 173 degree angle. That is bigger than 90, so complementary there is none. I cannot come up with an angle that is complementary because it's already bigger than 90 degrees. Then the supplementary, I'm going to do 180 minus 173. And that comes out to be 7 degrees. So a supplementary angle an angle that is supplementary to 173 degrees is 7 degrees. This example, example 4, finding the measures of all angles, this is where we are going to use some of our algebra to solve for each of the angles. I know that 2x, the angle that's 2x, and the angle that's 3x, and the angle that's x, I know all of those added together makes this straight angle. And I know straight angles are 180 degrees. So here the thought process that's going on inside my head. So I know the angle that's 2x plus the angle that's 3x plus the angle that's x adds to 180 degrees. I'm going to combine like terms. I have 2x's plus 3x's plus 1x is 6x. And then I'm going to use algebra to solve. Divide both sides by 6. X equals 30 degrees. So when I go back up here to my picture, this angle is x, so it's 30 degrees. Then this angle here is 3 times x, so 3x's would be 30 times 3. So this angle is 90. And then this angle right here is 2 times x, which is 60. And I'm going to erase this because that looks like it's a 1. So my angles are 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and 30 degrees. And if I were to check that, it would add up to 180. 90, and then 60 and 30 is 90, 90 and 90 is 180. Alright, so notice how we use algebra to solve for the angle, and then we go back up and find the measures of each of the angles in the picture. Alright, my last example says finding the measure of all angles. An angle that measures 2y minus 11 and 29 degrees are supplementary. What is the value of y? Alright, so I know that supplementary means they add up to 180. I know that one of my angles is 29 degrees, so it's pretty small. And then I know that this one, 2y minus 11, is my other angle. So I know that 2y minus 11, that's my first angle, plus 29 degrees equals 180. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like terms. So I have minus 11 or negative 11 plus 29. So on my brother's side I have 2y. Do that in your head or on a calculator. That comes out to be plus 18. 29 minus 11 is 18. And then I'm going to use algebra to solve. Undo addition with subtraction. 180 minus 18 is 162. Divide both sides by 2. Y equals 162 divided by 2 is 81. Oh, and that's not degrees, that's just 81. Find the value of y. So my value of y is 81 degrees. And I don't have to find the angle measure, which I could have done that without doing algebra anyways. The value of y is 81 degrees. If something doesn't make sense, please come see me in the morning.